In 2 weeks, Ford Motor Company is returning to the 24-hour Le Mans. This car right here was one of the winning cars at Le Mans 50 years ago. Well, what we did is we brought together the crew, the guys that worked on this car, that took care of the motor, that made sure that this car made it for 24 hours for Ford Motor Company. And it's returning to Le Mans in 2 weeks.
They want us to throw the race. They want McLaren Amon car to win the race.
It's very exciting to see the car come across the finish line. Was spectacular.
And then after the car got running around there, the wood would drop out and you'd get back down to 3.5 inches, and that's where the car would run the best.
And we had some long days before the race too, so by the end of the race we were pretty well shot.
To be there, with that team and be at Le Mans, and being, it was one of those things that I reflect back on, and it's hard for me to even comprehend.
I mean, there was nothing like the equipment they have now compared to then, but in the end, over the whole season, we ended up winning the GT Championship.
I just had to break away and look it over from time to time because it's very unique to me. And while I'd worked on some pretty nice cars, including the Daytona Coupe, which was already proven itself very successful, this thing was really great.
There's so many things written in books that are only half-truths or partial truths based on what people thought they heard or innuendo or rumor, that I thought it was necessary to try and get the original guys here and have them give their thoughts and what they were thinking and what they did to keep these cars going and winning.
He came back in and they said they'd talk to the officials, French officials, and the French officials said, well, what we can do is they can do a dead heat. They do a dead heat, they both win, there'd be no aggro.
You relish the job, the opportunity, and it was just a lot of fun. There was never any problems. They were all good guys, and it was excellent.
We all look older. You look at the guy and you think, gee, he got old, You don't even remember, but he's like looking at you and thinking the same thing.
And I spun the car right in front of Shelby and several Ford reps. Just as I'm going around in a circle, here they come out of the office. And I thought, well, this is my last day.
Was driving up onto, the victory ramp when the French officials come up and said, hey, you're number 2, not number 1. And I mean, you could have shot him. It's just like, I think it took something out of him. And because see, he had won at Daytona and he had won at Sebring, and nobody has ever won all 3 of those races.
Most of the stuff, it was up to the individuals who were running the car, what they should do and what they shouldn't do.
And really, it was an incredible win, not only for the Ford Motor Company, but for, in my opinion, the United States as a whole. That was really quite a feat that they accomplished in '66.
We got some really great stories today from the guys that worked on this car and all the Ford GTs and made everything happen for Shelby American. It's just amazing that Ford Motor Company stepped out and finally accomplished international success with a Ford-built, Ford-manufactured race car. And in 2 weeks, this car is going back to Le Mans.